It's a little hot for this, isn't it? You're cold, huh? It's cold, not cool. Anyway. Parashat Matot Masay. Parashat Matot Masay. It says something very interesting in this parasha. Well, it's not so interesting, but I think you can find it interesting. Or at least I found it interesting. Maybe. It says, "Tzav et bnei Yisrael v'amarta eleim, ki atem ba'im el haaretz Canaan." Command Bnei Yisrael and tell them, you're coming upon the land, Canaan. Zot haaretz asher tipol lachem benachala, eretz Canaan ligvuloteha. This is the land in which you are going to inherit, not Hamas, and not Abbas, and not all the other lunatics. And these are the boundaries of the land. Boundaries of the land. Goes further, it says, "Zot tiyeh lachem haaretz ligvulotea saviv." This is going to be the land and its boundaries around it. So far, so good. You think boundaries, borders, are good or bad? Look at Europe. I mean, there's no borders. You can go from Germany to Holland to Belgium to France. Nobody was, it's just one happy land. It's very interesting to have boundaries. I mean, not to have borders. If you ever been to a border, let's say for example in Israel, or near El Paso, Texas, right? And all the Mexicanos cross the border. You see that there's a little bit of you get a little bit of like a choking, restraining kind of a feeling when you go near a border. You go on a road, and for me especially, when we were stationed in Sinai, and then they gave it back, they gave it to the Egyptians. And they said, what should I say back? They gave it to the Egyptians. And then we were going up the hill, up the mountains. Now we have to make a right turn because we can't go because there's a border. You feel all of a sudden uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. That's it. You can't go past that. Or, usually they're like barbed wires and it's like a tall fence with, a certain part of it where they actually, they don't plow, but they flatten the earth like this. So when they do a patrol, they walk, they could see if somebody had footprints and so on and so forth. Different kind of electronic devices, to notice any movement, any pressure on the fence, etc., etc. That really are there for one thing and one thing only, to prevent people from coming in or out. So all of a sudden, in this big country that you think you are a big country, Israel, it's no bigger than, I don't know, New Jersey. New Jersey is like the armpit of America. But never mind. Why would anybody move to Jersey? Gas is not even cheap there anymore. But and you can go. If you want to go from here to Jersey, you got a car, you go. Imagine how we would feel if there was a fence. You can't go to George Washington. There's a little in the middle of the bridge. There's a little roadblock, and excuse me, show you your passport. Okay, you can go to Jersey. Or you want to go from Jersey to Pennsylvania, you just drive, and all of a sudden you're in Pennsylvania. Imagine there's a checkpoint there. So it's very limiting, those borders. The borders in which are described in the parasha are not the only borders that are mentioned of Eretz Israel in the Torah. There are many times that the borders are mentioned in the Torah. For example, if you talk about Avraham Avinu was his land promised to him. When that promise had a very straightforward dimension to it. I mean, we knew exactly how how big the land is, and the promise to Avraham Avinu of the land is much greater than what we know of Eretz Israel. Much greater than that. And in Brit Ben HaBetarim, that's the land that was discovered. Therefore, those borders are called Gvulot HaAvtacha, the borders of the promise. These are the promise to Avraham Avinu. And if you think that we are already done with the borders, we already defined the borders, there are also the smaller borders, a more condensed version of those borders, and that's the borders which are described in Parashat Masay, which is the future territory that is going to be conquered by those who came from Mitzrayim. We call them Olei Mitzrayim. And therefore, that border is called Gvul Olei Mitzrayim, the borders of the people from Mitzrayim. And then there's another border, which is the most condensed one, which obligates us the most, is the Gvul of Olei Bavel, so these people who came from Bavel. As the Rambam writes in Halachot Teruma, Perek Aleph Halacha Hey, Zeh Shenotar Kadosh Me'az Ve'ad Olam. These, the borders of such allergies, it's crazy. The borders of Olei Bavel, those who came back from Bavel, are sanctified forever. That's those borders in which they re-inhabited are the ones who were applicable to us in terms of mitzvot of Eretz Israel and so on and so forth. So if you look at the Psukei of the Torah and the words of Chazal, if that was you think that there was enough, it gives us all the description, you'll be quite surprised that many of the locations in which were promised, whether to Avraham Avinu, whether to Olei Mitzrayim and Olei Bavel, are really forgotten. A famous case is, for example, where is Nachal Mitzrayim? Where is Nachal Mitzrayim? The river of Egypt. Many people are not quite sure. Some say even it's the creek of El Arish. Without getting into historical things, at the beginning, the Zionists wanted to settle down in that part of it's a beautiful place of Sinai, but when they start demanding water from the Nile to come, they said, wait, 1 second, no, not so quick. We don't want to give you water, so let's look for a different plan for you. Because that was according to many opinions, that's the border of Am Yisrael. But we don't know exactly what it is. We don't know for sure what it is. We don't know. Which is a very sad state of mind. There are many places that you could think that they're Eretz Israel with all the laws applicable to Eretz Israel, and they're actually not. So if you and Rishonim trying to do that, and there's Machloket Rishonim, and there's Machloket Acharonim, and there's Machloket Acharonim. Until today, they're arguing which one is how and how we are going to identify the boundaries of the land, especially today, since it becomes a hot potato. There was a big discussion during the time of the evacuation of Gush Katif. And one of those bizarre things in modern history that people that lived there for many years have been simply evacuated. I don't see that anybody, by the way, doing it to the Turks that invaded, that even had a war. They simply invaded Cyprus, but the Jews, you can take them out. So I don't know. But there was a discussion whether that's a part of Eretz Israel or that's not a part of Israel. Some people said absolutely not, that's not a part of Eretz Israel. Some people say yes, it is. It's machloket, Kedusha Rishona, Kedusha Shniya, where exactly it is, where it's not. Is it between there, or maybe it goes up to Gaza, it doesn't go further southwest to El Arish, They don't know. So it's very important to know those things. Very important. However, of course, the question is, what do we really need borders to begin with? Why does HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell us the borders? HaKadosh Baruch Hu could have said something very simple. could have said, whichever land you're going to come and conquer, that's your land. Why do you have to tell me the descriptions of the land? Do we really need borders? What are we, territorial? What's going on in here? Why do we need to know borders? But in those days they had a passport. And why does Am Yisrael has to specifically be in those lands? Let's say they want to go somewhere else. They couldn't. Am Yisrael has to be confined with the borders of a territorial land. What is it? We're going into a concentration camp? What is this thing? How's your uncle? So of course there is a totally different thing that we are completely missing in what this parasha and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to teach us. If you think this is just like for future generation to mark territory, you are completely wrong. It's not only for that. There is a very deep reason why the parasha tells us those things. However, you should know that when it tells us that the concentration of the borders, it's not necessarily only and limited only to geographic borders. That's about any borders. In Hebrew, the word border or the word boundary, to know your boundaries, to know your borders, it's the same language, gvul. Gvul, mishum shemagbil, it limits you. So I need to know what my limitations. Okay? The Torah tells us, and the Kabbalah actually tells us, that everything in this universe has a holy spark in it, an itzotz shel kedusha, a holy spark in it that gives it its livelihood. Without that spark, you cease to exist. Even davar shehu tameh, or something that is bad, also has an itzotz kedusha in it. Otherwise, you cease to exist. So does it mean that really bad is good also? Is that what it means? It means if what good motivates bad, so that means that there's no bad, it's all good? That's what it means? And the answer is, of course not. Of course not. Absolutely not. When you look internally, if you have those abilities, you could see the divine in everything. You could see the divine in anything if you are at that level and live and so on and so forth. But we know that in this world there's a lot of bad that hides and covers the good, that doesn't allow the good to come out. We know it, we see it. So don't tell me that everything is good. So what's going on here? That's what exactly you need borders for. That's why exactly you need to know your boundaries. Know your place, know your boundaries. The halakha is basically a definition of boundaries. It tells us what is allowed and what is not allowed. Ma asur u'ma mutar. Isur ve'heter. As the halakha tells us what to do. What is whoever person who is chayav and the person who is patur. If you come to understand that, all of a sudden you could have a moment of lingering epiphany. Will you understand why is it important to know exactly the din? Not to know, you know. I remember one time when I used to take my kids to Israel. I took my 3 older kids when I was trying to move there. I took my 3 older kids, my daughter and my 2 sons, took them to Israel, hanging around. We toured the country. It was really a lot of fun. think we went for like maybe almost a month. And my son, I know this place right in the foothills of the Golan. I showed him where my father fought in 1973, and this year, by the way, should be to the refuah shlema of my father. Should have a speedy recovery. Gedalia Moreno ben Matilda, and also our dear friend Yosef ben Tamara. And I wanted to show him that there's a place there, water and so on and so forth. And he started running. I said to him, Ehud, stop! So he was like, he said to me, what's the matter? I said, you see that sign? The mines there. The field mines. He just didn't know the boundaries. He thought it's a fence. And what do you do with a fence? You go over the fence or under the fence. So when you don't know exactly where to go, and you don't know the halakha, you might step on a field mine. You need to know exactly where you put your foot. My father was a bomb engineer in the army. You know, taking care of bombs, field mines, and so on and so forth. He told me how you take a field mine, especially in the dark. You know, it's pretty scary. You can't rush those things. You need to have like nerves of steel. And they didn't have those big gear that they wear. You know, in America nowadays, you have these like big. You look like a robot. You know. They were just doing it like this, putting the hands like this, going like this with a knife, you know, feeling everything, taking apart everything, under fire at night. This is how you should learn halakha. Like you, אתה מבין מה אני אומר? כמו מוקשים. איך מוצאים מוקש? ככה צריך ללמוד halakha. This is how you have to learn halakha. Why? Because if you don't learn halakha like that, it's going to explode in your face. You could do tremendous damage to you, to people around you. You need to learn halakha slowly, with great importance. No, yalla, no, yalla, עוד אחד, no, next, no. You need to understand, and maybe you would appreciate now, why is it that Chachamim are always investigating and checking and double checking and triple checking? What are the boundaries of the din? Why Chachamim they have such a machloket and arguments about something? Because a mistake could become crucial for generations. So learning halakha, Chimigi Baba. Learning halakha, it's like defining the boundaries of operation. Where are you going to operate? What are you going to do? And you might say, for example, you know, there's a medrash that tells us, the police there, there's a medrash that tells us that in the future, the pig is going to be kosher. I'm absolutely against this minhag, this medrash. Why? Because if the Torah says, it's not kosher, it's never going. You can't change it. But never mind. Let's bonis drom. Let's go with the flow with this. So if I don't know the boundaries, I'm saying, if in the future it's going to be kosher, so let me eat it now, and I'm going to make a mistake. And I'm using the example of a pig because it's very chazer. It's very it's engraved deeply in the Jewish understanding. And if you do something like that, you need to understand that you're very far from a person who does tikkun olam. You're not fixing the world. You are destroying the world. You are absolutely destroying the world if you don't learn halachot. And especially if you think you know halacha and you don't. That's why Chazal said, Kol hamoreh halacha bifnei rabo chayav mita. That's very simple. If you are teaching halacha where you haven't gotten permission from your Rebbe, better be careful. You could die. It's pashut meod, Rabotai. Everything could be clear to you. All those things that you learned and everybody regurgitated, Rabotai, that's what it means. You know, People, by the way, have very respect to rabbis nowadays. Every Joe Schmo that can read ABC feels that he could tell the rabbi where he's right and when he's wrong, and what is good and what is bad, and how to do this and how to do that. Habibi, sheb b'sheket, and don't ask questions, and learn. After you learn, we can discuss things. Everybody's like this today. You wonder why things look the way they look? That's why they look the way they look. Nobody knows its boundaries. Nobody knows its place. You think your rabbi is your friend. You think your rabbi is your buddy. You think your rabbi is your husband. You don't talk to people like that. Would you talk to your boss like this? I'll throw you out. Okay, maybe not you, but I'm sure there are certain boundaries that even with the friendliest boss, you don't cross. You have to know your place. Knowing your place, it's a great thing. You talk to rabbis like your friends. You talk to rabbis like your friends. You question rabbis. Did you bother questioning yourself? Did you bother questioning yourself? You think you know everything. Guess what? You don't. And not only you don't know your place. The way you talk to rabbis, the tone that you talk to rabbis. But you know what's going to happen. The rabbi is going to continue going on his patrol, and you're going to blow yourself to smithereens. Because you don't know. And you don't bother to learn. The Ari, by the way, the yahrzeit of the Ari is Hey Be'av. You should know, Hey Be'av. Next. What? I'm talking about the arena. The Ari says, and listen, who was big Mekubal like the Ari? Who was a big, okay, so what? I'm talking about the Ari. That's good. I didn't ask you. The Ari said, which was the big Mekubal, was a big, who is the Mekubal like the Ari? He said that the way to learn, he was a Talmid of Rabbi Betzalel Ashkenazi. He said, and you know what Rabbi Betzalel Ashkenazi did? He wrote the Shita Mekubeitzes, and the Ari helped them with this and so on. This is an unbelievable resource, the Shita Mekubeitzes. It says that learning halacha, birura, learning halacha, and working hard on halacha, right? He was laboring so hard on it that sweat was coming out. He said that's the biggest tikkun for other drops of your body that came out. That's the biggest tikkun. This is how you have to learn that sweat is going to be pouring out of you. That's how you have to learn halacha. That's how you have to sift. It has to be clear to you what is allowed, what is not allowed. If you haven't sweat in your learning, you haven't learned. It's like you're going to lift weights and you're coming out, smelling like Febreze. Clean, not even a drop of sweat. You want to tell me you did a workout? Where in Alaska? Even in Alaska you go to sweat. Even the Ari, that his yahrzeit is on Hey Be'av, not today. Even the Ari said that the Ikar is Limud Halacha like that, because you need to know. Mekubal, Kabbalah, Rabotai, Halacha. The halacha is the most important work in the Jewish life. Look at those who violate halacha. Rabotai, one halacha. They're gone. Because you know what? You can step on a field mine, you can step on a small mine, on a big mine, on a EUD, on an IUD, on a CBC, on a I don't know what. Even one halacha. One halacha could be a grenade with a tripping wire. You're gone. You lose a leg. One little teeny halacha that you didn't bother. And that's from a person that was Baal Kabbalah Gadol. Today we learned that some poskim said you have to go like the Ari, even if he goes against the Shulchan Aruch. And he said you have to go like halacha. Rabotai, that ability to distinguish between Kodesh and Chol is one of the unique features that man has over beast. And it says, V'im en dat, havdala minayin. If you don't have sechel, if you don't have knowledge, how you be able to distinguish between good and bad? How? It says that we have to be very careful that even our reality, what we think is holy, we might think that we know something that is holy, that you should do so. We even have to be careful with that they're not going to come and confuse our reality. Oh, olam ha'alacha. Ki ein lo lakadosh baruch hu ela daled amot shel halacha. All HaKadosh Baruch Hu has around him, the boundaries, the inner circle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is halacha rabotai. The distinction between Kodesh and Chol, between Tameh and Tahor, is very important. You have to be able to distinguish between anything that stands in front of you. Kodesh, Chol, Tameh, Tahor, all the time. All the time. I told you, you want to know if the action that you're about to do or the activity that you're about to engage with is a Kodesh or Chol, measure it in the eyes of the Torah. Not in your eyes, because you have Choser Da'at. So you don't know, so you have to use a different scale. What would the Torah say about what you're about to do? The Torah said it's okay. Is it okay to do? Well, you do it. If it's not, don't make me excuses. Don't do it. And it goes with what kind of clothes you're going to wear, and how you're going to wear your clothes, how you're going to get a haircut, which school you're going to go to, what friends are you going to have, where are you going to work, what are you going to do. These are all boundaries. If you don't have it, you are going to fail. You are going to fail. I don't care how much you think you are immune from failure. You would fail. And I hate this telephone. Put it away. Don't put it there. You might be shooting blanks. Now, mistakes like this, we hear all the time nowadays. We hear it all the time. We hear it all the time. We always get mesmerized by Shabtai Tzvi. Shabtai Tzvi, Mashiach HaSheker, the false Messiah, like any other Messiah that came so far was falsy. But, he went down to the down deeps to bring the bad, to find the good and to separate from the bad. It's the same garbage that you tell me, well, Rabbi, I'm going to go to this place because I'm going to do Kiddush Hashem. I'm going there, I'm going to go to this place where it's like everybody around me is like Heffanan and a priest wannabe, and I'm going to go and I'm going to do Kiddush Hashem. You're not going to do Kiddush Hashem. Can you do Kiddush Hashem in a strip club? You can't. How do you do? By not going there. You're not doing any Kiddush Hashem there. Don't fool yourself. Do not fool yourself. It is as tameh as that. The places that you think, Rabbi, I can go. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to check this woman. I don't have any Yetzer Hara. Right. I've been in that story. No Yetzer Hara. Tell this to somebody else, not to me. Yichud, no. I don't have any desire for women anymore. What's the matter with you? Don't have desire for women anymore? Well, what's the matter? Don't tell me those stories. That's how you can't distinguish. En lachem da'at. There's no da'at because we ate from etzadat. Now everything is confused. That's why we have to do beirur, selection all the time. Good, bad, tameh, tahor, Torah, not Torah, kosher, not kosher. Everything in our life is separated. Kosher, not kosher. Chalavi, parv, dairy, parv, meat. Men, women. You don't go to the toilet with women. There's toilet for men, toilet for women. Dogs and cats don't need toilet. It's very clear. Those freak accidents that nature has, androgynous and all kind of, it's all 1 in 3 million. Today everybody's an androgynous. We need to know what's the halakha. Rabotai, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. I'm telling you. This is not a joke. You're going to make a mistake. Oh, Rabbi, when I shake this woman's hand, I don't have any feelings. Right. What have you done to lose the feelings when you shake a woman's hand? What have you done? And don't tell me the stories. You should know that even in the Kodesh, there are madrigot, there are levels to elevate yourself in the Kodesh. So if you look at the time, right, we have Yemei Chol, the regular days of the week. And then we have also, we have Chol HaMoed, and we have Yamim Tovim, and we have Yom Kippurim, and we have Shabbat, right? Regular days. It's regular days. You know, Sunday to Friday, regular days. What's holier than that? Okay, let's say Rosh Chodesh. But it's still regular days. Certain things you can't do. Holier than that, Chol HaMoed. Other than that, the 3 holidays. Holier than that,
Kippur.
Yom Kippur. Holier than that, Shabbat Ve'inafash. Shabbat is so holy, I don't need to distinguish anymore to do selection. That's why you're not allowed to do berur on Shabbat. The Ari says, on Shabbat, the selection is done by itself. המבדיל בין קודש לחול ובין אור לחושך ובין ישראל לעמים ובין יום השביעי לששת ימי המעשה. When you are able to distinguish, when you define the boundaries between Kodesh and Chol, between Israel La'amim, you take it upon yourself a quality of God. Because that's the way He wanted it. But when you don't do it, you're betraying God's qualities. It's not good enough for me. I don't need this. What are you going to say when you're going to go up there? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Oh, I'm sorry, can I try again? No. You have to be very careful. You should know, as I said to you before, even in the Kedusha, there are elements, even in bed there's element of Kedusha, and you might be mistaken. But in the place of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's no mistaken. Kshetavo lemakom avnei shaish, when you come to a place of marble, al tikru mayim. As Rabbi Akiva told his friends. Because when you come closer to the presence of Hashem, you can't live in a lie. And you know if you are lying to yourself with the way you live your life. You call yourself religious people, observant people, B'nai Torah. Are you living according to the standards or not? Or are you doing so because some social pressure, or your parents will take you off the wheel, or who knows what? A Ben Torah acts like the Torah is his mother. Rabotai, you need to wear this. You need to be aware of this. You think that boundaries are bad? I'm going to tell you, boundaries are the gvulot, the borders. It's what allows you to operate. If you're going to take a child, a baby, and you're going to let him do whatever he wants, he'll grow up, become a monster. Hey, what do you want, honey? You want a car? I'll get you a car. You want a phone? I'll get you a phone. You want this? I'll get you this. No! I want to stay up late. No, you're not. Why? Because I'm your father. You want to ruin your kid? Give him no boundaries. He can do whatever he wants. He'll grow up to be a spoiled brat worthy of a whipping. And he'll get his whipping. But it's going to be very hard, and he's not going to be able to do it. So that's why they say, Choseh shivto soneh beno. He who doesn't align his son hates his son. Usually his mothers. That's why it says, Kerachem av al banim. Who has more mercy, a father or the mother? Father. Because the mother says, oh, John, my darling, do whatever you want. Oh, don't, please. The father says, no, Matot, say, what are you doing? Don't be a bum. No, you don't need a phone. The mother says, don't worry, I'll give you a phone. Don't worry, daddy doesn't know. He'll go to sleep. I'll give him money from the wallet, right? I'll talk to daddy. Don't worry about it. Motekshali, don't worry. Mommy loves you. Mommy would have probably nursed you until you're 25 years old if she could. But that's bad for you. That's what we say, Kerachem av al banim. As a mercy, have mercy on us like a father has a father on his son. A father has mercy more on his children than the mothers do. Don't forget that. Kerachem av al banim. Rachamenu, kerachem av al banim. The person who tells you break the boundaries or have no boundaries is your enemy. Because you will get lost. You will get lost in life. You will reach nothing because you have no discipline. You'll be a spoiled brat. Failure. You gotta have boundaries. No, I'm waiting for him to finish texting. Please. So if you want to know, there's also boundaries and elevation in the geographic realm. And that's what we say in the in the first parak of Masechet Kelim, the different 10 kedushot, 10 kedushot, 10 different levels of elevation, of kedusha. Look over there. And if we're talking about the boundaries of Eretz Israel, which are going to be now, it is very important to us to know the boundaries and for us to define the boundaries of ourselves, to warn us. Because Ikar Avodatenu, our main purpose in this world, since the Chet of Adam HaRishon, Rabotai, is to separate. And the Chet of Adam HaRishon, when they ate from Etz Hadat, good and bad got mixed. Before it was very clear, they got mixed. Your job, Rabotai, by doing the mitzvot, by living your life, is to fix what Adam HaRishon screwed up. Ela'asot beirur ben kodesh lechol, to separate between good and bad. That's why you came to this world. You didn't come from this world here to nurse on mommy, or to have fun, or to have a job, or to go on vacation to Dominican Republic, or to go to Aruba, or to go to Miami and get Zika. You didn't come to the world for that. You came here to work. You came here to fix. And if you're not fixing, even if you're doing nothing, you're destroying. You have to be in a constant motion, because that's your chayut, that's your livelihood, that's what gives you the koach. When you are breaking and you're separating and you're revealing the light in anything that is bad, that gives you chayut. You have more power to go. And when you're not, you crumble from within, like a pie that crumble within. You need to understand that. And this is exactly what we have in this parasha. Soon we're going to be Sefer Dvarim. This parasha is a preparation for Sefer Dvarim, Rabotai. A Sefer Dvarim, coming few weeks. Sefer Dvarim is all about the mitzvot. How do we call Sefer Dvarim? Mishnah Torah. Mishnah Torah means it's the Torah, the whole entire mitzvah, everything is in that. So before you start the mitzvot, you have to understand your boundaries. You have to know your place. You have to establish who's the rabbi, who's the student. Aseh lecha rav. You have to make yourself a rabbi in which will guide you, in which will teach you, in which will tell you what you don't want to know, and you don't want to hear, and he tells you when you're good, and he will tell you when it's bad. Because you're going to get lost. When this Havdalah is being done, we're fixing the world. And the Ikar way, the main filter, the main sift, in order to be able to do so, is learning not only Torah, Rabotai, is learning Halakha. Learning Halakha, learning the boundaries in which you can operate, to be able to distinguish and to know at any given time what is right and what is wrong. Ve'amar al hen hen, ve'al lav lav. When they give a tzmicha to a rabbi, one of the things they write, he says, and he was able to answer on yes, yes, and a no, no. Clear. And if you don't know that, you need to take it into heart and you need to learn. You must learn. People look at halakha as halakha is for balabatim. That's not the real thing. That's not true. A rabbi who has a congregants that they're working, balabatim they're working, they should learn halakha all the time. Later on, they can learn some Gemara here, Gemara there. For them, Gemara, I'm sorry to tell you, don't think, we learn Gemara every day, day and night here. But Gemara for them is not important. And if he's pushing Gemara down their throats without learning halakha, I'll tell you this, he's deceiving them. He's deceiving them. Because until you get the din from the Gemara, it could happen. And until you're going to finish what you need to do, what they're going to learn Baba Kama, Baba Safta, Baba Zeh, Baba Sali, right? They're not going to learn Seder Moed. For Balabatim, what they should learn? Shabbat, Kodem Kol. Shabbat, Brachot. But nobody's going to learn that. They want to pretend. It's not time to pretend in Rabotai. It's time to action. And we need to affirm our action by learning halakha. So even if you learn Gemara, you have to learn in le'asukei shma'ateta aliba d'ilchata. You have to learn with the halakha in mind. Don't learn and think that you are doing chidushim and so on and so forth. Gdolei HaRabbanim did not like pilpulim without nothing. Gdolei HaRabbanim, whether it was Rav Belsky, Alav Shalom, or Rav Ben Zion, or Rav Ashkenazim Esradim alike told you, learn for halakha. Ma'in of kamina, what do you get out of this? So you'll know what to do. If you don't know, you would not keep. And if you don't keep, you destroy. Shabbat Shalom.